Lots more details are pouring in regarding Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman, including the guitarist's dad. Gotta talk about this. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore here with It's Kim. We've been live going through a lot of updates. I wanted to sort of summarize some of the most biggest updates since yesterday, because more and more keeps pouring in. Again, speculation here. I know. I wish them both well. I'm still sad about this, Kim. But the more and more that pours in, I'm feeling bad for Nicole here, but let's go through it. Actually, there is one theory I will share at the end that made us laugh that I am going to share in Keith's defense if it could go the other way. But let's start with what a lot of the report are coming in. Here's some Shutter Scoop. Nicole Kidman's heartbreak has a bitter twist. Apparently, rumors are coming in that the Oscar winner Friends is convinced Keith all his country pals, including Blake Shelton of The Voice, knew about his alleged cheating long before she did. Nicole feels blindsided, not just by Keith, but by the silence of the whole group. She can't understand how no one gave her even a hint. Not Blake, not anyone. For years, Nicole embraced Keith's Nashville circle, welcoming Blake and Gwen Stefani to their estate in Tennessee. Whispers of Keith's late nights and mysterious disappearances were swirling months before the split. Looking back, Nicole sees it now. The jokes, the awkward pauses, the looks, they were signs. She just didn't want to believe them. Urban has kept quiet and Blake has stayed silent too, but to Nicole, that silence speaks volumes. She thought they were her friends too. Now she feels betrayed by the whole world Keith came from. Making the wound even deeper, the affair isn't just what she's mad about, it's the trust was broken on every side. And then a follow-up, which is now the report is, that's sort of prompted Nicole to get close with Hugh Jackman's ex-wife, Deb. Apparently she's been crying with Deb, who we all remember was divorced by Hugh for another woman. But sources say the two Aussie icons have an unbreakable bond, both reeling from the pain of being left behind. They've been inseparable, one friend reveals. Nicole has broken down to Deb more than once. It's raw, emotional, very real. Nicole has faced whispers of another woman in Keith's life, while Deborah saw her 27-year marriage end as Hugh's future girlfriend, Sutton Foster, moved in. Deb keeps telling Nicole, "You'll survive this. You're stronger than you think." With Keith moving his belongings out, Nicole's shattered. But thanks to Deb, she's finding hope. As one close source puts it, it's the ultimate sisterhood of heartbreak, and they're determined to rise from it together. I got to say, as sad as we don't want, as we were saying earlier, we don't want heartbreak for them, but I hope that story's true. It's nice to know that she'd have someone like that who's kind of been going through it to cry on the shoulder of. Does that give you comfort too, Kim?
Yeah, I mean, and I kind of feel it for both sides of the issue. I think when people go through really tough times, it's good when you've got friends who can come beside you and listen to you and help you and guide you. We all need that as people, no matter what. So I hope that Nicole does have that. It does seem like she has support. We have seen her out and about with her sister, I believe, as well. So hopefully she's getting the support that she needs. Keith as well. We need each other, right? We need community. So hopefully that's true.
Yeah, agreed. There's some more clips and things I want to show you, but before we get there, I do want to get through today's sponsor. We are so glad to have them back as I cue my sponsor music. Please support our sponsor, guys, because we can't do what we do without it. But today's sponsor is once again Venice.ai. Venice.ai is your place to go to make sure that your AI searches are all secure. ChatGPT has had a lot of stuff out there. Sam Altman's announced that, a lot of your previous conversations and questions and queries aren't being secured. They're going to be read. Where's all that data really going? Well, Venice AI is your solution, guys. Venice AI lets you use AI without handing over all your sensitive information. It uses leading open source AI models to deliver text, code, and image generation to your web browser. There's no downloads, no installations of anything. They don't spy or censor the AI. I checked. You can really do anything if you wanted to, Kim. My God, some weird stuff. No judgment here at Popcorn Planet, but
you don't have to, though.
Don't get too weird. But yeah, you can look up anything uncensored on this thing, Kim. And no downloads, no installations. They don't spy on you. The messages are encrypted, and your conversation history is stored only in your browser. The Pro plan unlocks the full platform, including PDF uploads, which we've been using so much for some of our trials and headlines to get summaries of our stories here. You can also turn off safe mode for unhindered image generation. And Venice interacts with you by modifying the prompts and limitless text, high image limits. It's pretty impressive, guys. So you can get a pro account and get 20% off your pro plan by using down below venice.ai/popcorn. Make sure you use that. Use code popcorn. You'll get 20% off your order. But I wanted to share some more as these summaries, etc. But look at this. We're cartoons. How fun is this? Now, Kim, someone could do something really gross with us. I hope they won't. Please don't. But you could. I made it a little more fun. But possibilities are endless. Just, don't be weird. I also decided to make this. Look at this. We've been talking about Keith and Nicole. What if they were in It Ends With Us? I used AI to make this, Kim. Pretty creepy. She would have crushed it, man. If only she had been in this movie over Blake. That would have been epic. But I'm telling you guys, Venice.ai is the place you want to go to get all your searches done securely and safely. Please make sure you use code POPCORN at checkout. All right, amazing. So we can't do what we do without our sponsors. So grateful for them, and thank you guys. Hopefully you guys will check it out. You can check the pinned comment to get there. I want to play a couple clips before we're done. Obviously, get through the rest of these stories because Keith's not hid his discomfort in interviews when asked about Nicole. There's one here specifically. Let's watch.
Love story with Nicole. You met at G'day Australia. Is that what it was called?
G'day LA.
G'day LA.
Yeah.
If you hadn't both been there that day, would your paths somewhere have inevitably crossed? Or maybe this incredible
probably.
life story wouldn't have happened?
No, I think it would.
Yeah? Are you a believer in fate, or do you think as two Australians it would have happened?
No idea.
I just often think that if you weren't at that event, maybe you don't have the same friendship group, it may never have happened.
Well,
Never know.
You never know.
it's fate. It's the universe.
Anyway,
You'd
moving
like
on.
to think so. You'd like to think so.
Anyway, moving on. Please stop asking me about my wife. I mean, it was kind of a boring, move on, lady. Ask a different question. It was getting kind of boring. But he was clearly uncomfortable, Kim. But yet again, here he is. Look at his face. Look at his face. He's on with Ryan Seacrest. And it's not as aggressive in this one. But just watch. You can tell he does not want to talk about her. And ironically, this was 2 months before, 2 months ago. So this was recent. This was kind of during it happening. So it's kind of interesting to watch him now, knowing they're probably already over.
Do people tell you your wife is in everything? Like everything? Nicole Kidman is in everything.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Everything.
She's almost as busy as you, but not quite. Very close.
I don't know,
though.
bro. I think she's like First of all, she makes the greatest choices, and
That was a great deflection by Keith, actually, because Ryan Seacrest is everywhere.
Yeah, everything she does is fantastic.
Like I was watching one of the series last night where she can get evil, diabolical in some of her roles as well. But is that something with your life, her life, and mapping it all out with production and touring? That's a job, isn't it?
It's a job. Yeah.
And teenagers at that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. No, life is in session.
I think that people know that you do take.
Okay, you don't want to clearly go there.
Yeah,
It's Kim.
it's so
Are you feeling the awkward
uncomfortable.
vibes there?
It's so uncomfortable. And it's really jarring too, because one of the things that we've talked about on today's episode is just that we see so much of the two of them together. They're very affectionate on red carpets together, like Keith using her, not using her, but having her in the video for The Fighter that he posted on his channel. It's got 11 million views. So it's if she's so involved with his life, you can only expect interviewers to ask questions. So it always just kind of surprises me that that's where we're at.
Agreed. Now I'm going to now turn over to defend Keith potentially, Kim, as I mentioned this before. For those of you who have not seen the movie Baby Girl, look at this headline. They had to pause the scene because she didn't want to keep owing anymore. Now I'm going to come back to her direct quote, but I want to go back to, this was from 2021. So this was before Baby Girl. How husband Keith Urban really feels about her love scenes. And here was the quote. My husband is an artist, so he understands all of it. He also does not get involved. He sees the show at the very end when it's a show, all edited together. He's fresh eyes. He doesn't read any script. He really doesn't know what's going on the set. He's got his own career that he's completely absorbed in. He doesn't know much about what I'm really doing. So he's not involved, Kim, and then he watches the shows. So I was just remarking because imagine, for those of you who have seen Baby Girl, imagine Keith Urban's like, all right, honey, grabbing the popcorn. What movie? I'm excited to see your next work. What was it? Let's see what you guys did. And then as he's watching Baby Girl, she's drinking milk out of a saucer that's then being licked off her face. And she's being pounded every way you can
There's
imagine
lots of
in
stuff going
various
on.
body
Lots going
parts.
on.
And I could see Keith might be a little upset if this wasn't discussed earlier. And it's strange because there was an enormous amount of sharing and trust and the frustration. Then "Don't touch me," Kidman explained with the son. She said there were times where we were shooting where I was like, I don't want to climax anymore. Don't come near me. I hate doing this. I don't care if I'm never touched again in my life. I'm over it. I was so present all the time for me that it was almost like a burnout. And then so she's like, well, why'd you even do it? And she said, well, I'm always going, where have I not been? Where can I explore as a human being? And this was an area I'd never been before. So look, I'm hoping that, knowing that she had a conversation with her husband saying like, hey, hubby, I know we don't talk about this, but I'm going to go somewhere I've never been before. Are you cool with it? Now, if they didn't have that conversation, Kim, and baby girl, it was just something he had to watch at home with popcorn, realizing, wait, this isn't art. This is adult movies. I can see that could have caused a wedge. That could have been a lot if he wasn't prepared for it, because she doesn't really key into the fact that he's like, oh, he's cool with it. He doesn't care. He's comfortable. He's secure. No, it does seem like, especially given some of these interviews we're watching, he kind of seems pretty insecure. If you ask me, Kim, it seems like he doesn't want to be talked. There's one more thing I want to showcase where I sort of on Keith's side, but literally Keith Urban, my wife, Nicole, I'm not going to talk about her. Literally the first part, it's a beautiful morning, Keith's backyard. But he's politely telling me already off. I just don't want to give you guys a headline about my wife, Ed. He says, well, you just gave him a headline about your wife. Literally the whole article is about Kidman. Kidman's mother is being interviewed. Kidman throughout, pictures of Kidman. Then there's a little bit about it, but then Kidman and Tom Cruise. This is an article, mind you, that Ed's supposed to be making about Keith Urban. Kidman, he and Kidman. Kidman never wanted this. More of Kidman. Remarkable watching Kidman. Look at it. Back to Kidman. Literally the last article, the last paragraph, promoting her shows. He's the glorious second win that precedes. Is he proud of her? Very, he says, but this is the last straw. We've had the best conversation about my career and my music, and I love that at the very end of this conversation, you're going to try to give one more swing to see if I'll talk about my wife. I'm not going to talk about her. I must admit defeat and leave him to the lovely Tennessee. But he didn't. He just made the whole article about Nicole Kidman. So I could see why he was getting annoyed. He does seem a little insecure. At the same time, it's strange to me when you put your wife in the headline of the title of your videos and you made her part of it. I think that's why a lot of us are reacting and kind of stranged by this. And yeah, it's a really bad look when you rewrite a song written for your wife that you starred with and then start calling out your new young female guitarist, whose father has to come out and react to. So he's saying, no, it's nothing, but unclear what this actually means. TMZ's reporting there's now other clips where, Keith was joined by Maggie on stage, pointed at her just before belting, "I was born to love you." So, looks like there's a lot more to the story. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the bell for all alerts. Smash that thumbs up as well. And if you want to hear Kim and I talk even more about this, make sure you become a member over on PopcornPlanet.com. You can watch the full show. We had a lot of good rants about other stuff too. My Bad Bunny rant was really good. Head on over there, watch the replay. Stay tuned, subscribe to It's Kim if you want to hear her takes as well. I'm just trying to keep this video tight because it was a lot to squeeze in. So stay tuned. And if you're watching live, don't go anywhere. But thank you guys so much for watching.